Good morning, students. Welcome back. Today, again, we will revise uh, all the chapters. Actually, today I want to discuss uh, different types of questions with answer from all the chapters mixed uh, and except the deleted chapters. So, students, if you want, you can write the questions. Actually, I want that if you listen the answer from me and try to write the answer from your own, then it will be better for you. Okay, so listen carefully. Explain any two dimensions of untouchability. Students, untouchability from which chapter? Patterns of social inequality and exclusion. From the chapter Patterns of social inequality and exclusion. Okay. My question is explain any two dimensions of untouchability. First of all, exclusion. Exclusion means untouchables are most grow through extreme form of exclusions like being prohibited from sharing drinking water, sources of participating in collective religious worship, social ceremonies and festivals. Then you can write humiliation and subordination. Public, visible humiliation and subordination is a common practice towards untouchables. Untouchables are forced inclusion in a subordinated role, such as being compelled to play the drum at a religious events. Common instances of humiliation and subordination are imposing of gestures of defense such as taking off headgear or carrying the footwear in the hand, standing with bowed head, not wearing clean and bright clothes, and so on. Routinized abuse and humiliation. Okay, so the answer I hope all of you understood. You have to write the two dimensions of social exclusion, social untouchability. One is the exclusion and another is the humiliation. Okay. My next question is, it's also from different chapter. What do you understand by regionalism? What do you understand by regionalism? Can you guess the answer? First of all, can anyone tell me the challenges of cultural diversity is the chapter's name? Yes or no? Yes, the chapter name is Challenges of Cultural Diversity. Now the question is, what do you mean by regionalism? I know all of you knows the answer very well. Again I am repeating it. Regionalism in India is rooted in India's diversity of language, cultures, tribes and religion. It is also encouraged by the geographical concentration of these identity makers in particular regions and fueled by a sense of regional deprivation. Indian federalism has been a means of accommodating these regional sentiments. This is the answer of regionalism. My next question is clarify the meaning of industrialization. Can anyone tell me the answer? From which chapter I told the question? Question is from the chapter Change and Development in Industrial Society. Change and Development in Industrial Society. In the question answer, you have to write industrialization meaning or the definition. Industrialization involves a detailed division of labor. People often do not see the end result of their work because they are producing only one small part of a product. Industrialization leads to greater quality, at least in some spheres. For example, caste distinctions do not matter anymore on train, buses, or in cyber cafes. While the early sociologists saw industrializations as both positive and negative, by the mid 20th century, under the influence of modernization theory, industrialization came to be seen as inevitable and positive. Understood? Now, my next question is, give the examples of some works which are performed in homes. What is their economic importance? My question is, give the example of some works which are performed in homes. What is their economic importance? Can anyone guess where I have given the question? Yes, very good. Change and development in industrial society. Home based work is an important part of the country still now. Works like manufacture of lace, jori, or carpets, bidi, agarbatis, matches, and many such products. They are mostly done by women and children and the older people. An agent provides raw materials and also pick up the finished product. Home workers are paid on a piece rate basis depending on the number of pieces they make. So understood? Next question is, state the basic objectives laid down in Indian Constitution which are generally agreed as good. I am telling the questions once again. State the basic objectives laid down in Indian Constitution which are generally agreed as good. I have given the questions from the chapter Challenges of Cultural Diversity. What will be the answer? Any sections of the citizen residing in the territory of India or any part thereof having a distinct language, script, or culture of its own shall have the right to conserve the same. No citizen shall be denied admission into any educational institution maintained by the state or received out of state funds on ground only of religion, race, caste, language, or any of them. Understood? It's the answer. Now the next question is from the chapter Social Movements. Who was Birsa Munda? Who was Birsha Munda? What was the aim of the movement conducted by him? The question is, who was Birsha Munda? What was the aim of the movement conducted by him? The Ulgulan, 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 led by Birsa Munda, an Adivashi who led a major uprising against the British. The issues against which the leaders of the movement in Jharkhand agitated were acquisition of land for large irrigation projects and firing ranges, survey and settlement operation, which were held up, camps closed down, etc. Collection of loans, uh, rent, and cooperative dues, which were resisted. Nationalizations of forest produce, which were boycotted. Understood? Um, my next question is, students, today I have discussing many different types of questions. All the questions are carrying 2 marks. So I'm requesting to all of you, please try to listen the questions. If you face any problem or if you want to know the answer again, then you can join my Zoom class. I will elaborate everything. Okay. Uh, Next question is, what are the consequences of outsourcing? Now first tell me from which chapter I am telling the question. Change and development in industrial societies. The consequence of outsourcing are low wages, poor working conditions, permanent employees are reduced, difficult for trade unions to organize in smaller firms. Understood? Um, my next question is, explain the term social exclusion. It's 4 marks questions and 5 marks questions also. Explain the term social exclusion. Social exclusion refers to ways in which individual may become cut off from full involvement in the wider society. It focuses attention on a broad range of factors that prevent individuals or groups from having opportunities open to the majority of the population. Social exclusion is not accidental but a systematic. It is the result of structural feature of society. Understood? Now, my next question is, it's quite different and you have to think about it. The question is, why both Karl Marx and Mahatma Gandhi saw mechanizations as a danger to employment. Mechanizations means industrialization and more advancement in technology and advancement in science, applications of science as a danger of employment. The answer is, the basic tasks of a manager is to control worker and get more work out of them. There are 2 main ways of making workers produce more. One is extend the working hour, the other is to increase the amount that is produced within a given period of time. So students, I'm repeating the answer once again. Mechanizations is a danger for the employment because the basic task of a manager is to control workers and get more work out of them. There are 2 main ways of making workers produce more. One is to extend the working hours. The other is to increase the amount that is produced within a given period of time. Machinery helps to increase production, but it also creates the danger that eventually machines will replace the workers. That is why both Karl Marx and Mahatma Gandhi saw mechanization as a danger to employment. Understood, students? Next question is explain the importance of community identity. Explain the importance of community identity. It is also from the chapter The Challenges of Cultural Diversity. Community provides us the language or our mother tongue and the cultural values through which we comprehend the world. It also anchors our self-identity. Community identity is based on birth and belonging rather than on some form of acquired qualifications or accomplishment. It is what we are rather than what we have become. Expanding and overlapping circles of community ties like family, kinship, caste, ethnicity, language, region, and religion give meaning to our world and give us a sense of identity of who we are. That is why people often react emotionally or even violently whenever there is a perceived threat to their community identity. Again, my next question is explain the transformations of rural society after independence. Explain the transformations of rural society after independence. The answer is an increase in the use of agricultural labor as cultivations become more intensive, a shift from payment in kind, means grain, to payment in cash, a loosening of traditional bonds or hereditary relationships between farmers or landowners and agricultural workers, known as what? Known as bonded labor, and the rise of a class of free wage laborers. Free wage laborers. Now my next question is what are the features of social movements? Very easy questions. Social movements often arise with the aim of bringing about changes on a public issue, such as ensuring the right of the tribal population to use the forest or the right of displaced people to settlement and compensation, etc. So social movements activities or social movement activists hold meeting to mobilize people around the issues that concern them. Such activities help shared understanding. Social movement also chart out campaigns that include lobbying with the government and the media and the other important makers of public opinion. Social movement also develop distinct modes of protest. These could be candle and torchlight processions, use of black clothes, street theaters, songs, poetry, like that. So students, today I have discussed lots of questions from the different chapters from your book, from your NCERT book. So students, no need to worry. I will give all the questions in the WhatsApp, and I'm requesting to all of you, please go through the whole chapter from both the books. So I hope you will able to write down the questions answer. Okay, today this much only. Thank you everyone.